Hello everyone, this is me, Nicholas, also known as Franz the Executioner, and in this video I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about myself and some things that I went through, some medical conditions that I've lived with my whole entire life, how I adapted, and how I became resilient and did everything that I can do to live the most comfortable, happy life I could, even with hard medical conditions to grow up with and live with at times. So the first thing that I will share is that I have what's called Cruzon syndrome, which is a rare genetic disorder that makes the brain grow faster than the skull. And you're typically born with craniofacial issues, deformities, and get hydrocephalus, and all other kinds of complications. So in the US, it is preventable when people have children that are born with it or have it in their genetics. But I was born in Moscow, Russia, so I wasn't born here and I didn't have the luxury of it being preventable. So I ended up getting Cruzon syndrome because my mother had the gene. However, when I was in Russia, I had like a week to live because, I was hurt. I was also having medical issues, and I was graciously adopted within that week. And I was brought to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia to get a surgery to save my life. And that was a craniofacial surgery to open up my skull and put metal plates in. And also put a VP shunt in my head. So I have a VP shunt that is a tube that drains the fluid from my head and my brain to the rest of my body, because my body doesn't do that on its own. And I have the metal plates in here, so they had to open up my skull, put spacers and things in there to allow my brain to grow when I was a child. And I also was born with a underbite, which is part of the Cruzon syndrome, which is when your bottom jaw goes over your top jaw instead of the other way around. And this is what it looks like. So yes, that has made it hard to chew growing up, but I've learned to live and adapt with it. And hydrocephalus is not the same thing as Cruzon syndrome, but that's when your brain collects up fluid and the fluid just doesn't go throughout the body on its own. And that happened to me, unfortunately. So, yeah, I've had a lot of surgeries. I've had a lot of medical procedures, but I'm still here. And that's the resilience part. Even though I went through hardship and medical stuff that was really painful and really, really tough to go through, I went through over 10 surgeries, and I'm 30 years old. But I did it, and I'm okay, and they're life-changing. Those medical procedures saved my life. And how I'm resilient is I just live my best life. I live to the best of my ability. I don't let the Cruzon syndrome or my medical issues or anything I was born with get in my way of doing what I love. I also have high-functioning autism, and I have complex ptsd, which is also very difficult to deal with at times. because I am socially awkward. I'm a nerd for history. I'll admit that. I'm a big nerd and I'm proud of it. And yeah, I'm different. And different is a good thing, because different is what makes the world interesting. It's okay to be different. And I learned that. Because when I was trying to be normal for other people in the expense of my happiness, I was miserable. So I stopped doing that. I found myself. I didn't let my medical or learning issues or disabilities or things I went through get in my way. I then just started wearing the clothing that identifies me and myself, which is medieval clothing. I wear medieval garb as self-expression, and that's me. That's who I am. That's what I love doing. That's what makes me happy. And what also makes me happy is having my dream job of reenacting the executioner and teaching about torture and execution and the life of the executioner throughout history. I've studied the topic since I was 9 years old. I've always had an interest in history, regardless of what history it was, especially dark history. So yeah, I embrace my quirky habits, my ways of self-expression, and everything about me that makes me my authentic self. So this is a message that no matter what you're going through, there is always someone going through something harder, something worse, and no one's invalidated. No matter what you're going through, if it's difficult for you, you're valid. But to push through that and be your authentic self, not try to be normal and sacrifice your happiness at the expense of others. Like, that's just not worth it. Be yourself and you'll be more happy. You don't have to be what others want. You don't have to be normal, and don't let anyone tell you differently. Because everyone deserves to be their authentic self. And once you break through and once you embrace that and learn to not care what others think of you and love yourself, you'll be so much happier. And yes, that's easier said than done. But I really hope for everybody that they can be their authentic selves, no matter what that may be. As long as you're not doing something illegal, as long as you're not hurting others or negatively impacting other people, then it's just wonderful to be your authentic self. So like, subscribe, leave a nice comment, and follow for more content. Share my content. I would love this channel to grow. I make my content for everyone, so there's a little bit of something for everyone. I have videos of my cat, Gigi. I have videos about torture and execution throughout history, motivational videos like this one, sharing my experience, and also showing my medieval clothing, thrift shop finds, etc. So have a nice day, everyone, and just stay well and have peace within. Peace. Bye.